Hey, I just want to check in really quick. I've kind of already said this a little bit loudly, but I just want you to research sexual abuse cases in New Mexico. There was one specific case that I was looking for. It was institutional abuse. And 2 men went to prison over it. The children were never identified. And I think what happened was that there were probably a lot of people involved in the situation, and the 2 men were probably going to be whistleblowers, and so the other group of people who were involved decided to basically bandwagon against them. It's almost based on my personal experience. Those children were probably shuffled around and are still being abused, and the actual abusers are probably still doing it. The 2 men that were convicted were probably whistleblowers, and I'm just basing that off of my personal experience. The children probably never identified or told that anyone went to prison about the stuff that was happening to them because they're worth too much money to the system. Anyway, so I was trying to find that specific case because I just was feeling worried about those children and just helpless and knowing that they're probably out there still being abused. And instead I stumbled on like 4 or 5 other cases that fit the same MO. Not all of them are institutional abuse. Most of them are actually children that don't belong to their captors. One of them was 2 women thrown in prison for chaining. They had like 1 child chained up and were sexually abusing other children in the house. I think there were 6 children. 2 of them were their biological children. The other children were never identified. And I can pretty much guarantee you that they are just being shuffled around. The same stuff is happening to them. They don't know that anybody went to prison for what happened to them. And that's because the system doesn't want to take responsibility. And because the children are worth too much money. The governor of New Mexico made a very candid speech and statement saying, you know, these children, they're going to be placed in the best of care, and I am fully confident they can live perfectly good and normal lives. So we're talking about, anyways, it stinks all the way up and down. If you live in New Mexico, complain, please. If you Google search those words, at 4 or 5, 6 cases will instantly pop up that fit that MO, that the perpetrator has no known relationship to some of the children, and the relationship isn't stated, it's just sort of danced around, and those children are the same as me. So I don't really know exactly what to do. I'm a little bit afraid of, I don't know, the wrong people getting a red flag and children being just brutally murdered. When I was a kid, different things kind of came through the pipelines. Like, suddenly I wasn't allowed to go to parades anymore because someone identified their child at a parade, and the people that were taking care of that child went to jail. So I think I was like 6 or 8. I was never 7. I wasn't allowed to be 7 for some reason.
Do you need help?
I stopped going to parades. So, anyways, I'm just putting this out there because it's already a little out there. Love you guys. Have a good night.